So here we're given sine as 24 over 25, but we don't have the triangle. So we're going to start by drawing the triangle. So if this is x over here, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So that means the 24 is the opposite side, and the 25 is the hypotenuse. So if you know two sides of a triangle, you can find the third side. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So 24 squared is 576. 25 squared is 625. So that means a squared equals 49, so a is 7. So if this side is 7, that means cosine of x is adjacent 7 over hypotenuse 25. Which proportion is not true? So we've got AB over AC, so the short side over the whole side. And then AE over AD, short over the whole thing. So that one's good. AB over AE, AB over AE, so that's short over short. And then AC, the whole thing, over AD, the whole thing. That's also okay. They correspond, they're good. AB over BC, so the top over the bottom equals AE over ED, top over bottom, that's good. AB over BC, top over bottom. AE over AD, that's top over whole thing. That's different, they are not corresponding, so that's the one that's not true. If this is a square, this angle right here has to be 45 degrees because it's a 90-degree angle that gets cut in half. So 6x minus 9 equals 45. Add the 9, you get 54. And then divide by 6, so you get x equals 9. The three methods of changing an inscribed equilateral triangle into an inscribed regular hexagon. So there's an inscribed equilateral triangle. Three ways to do it. You could bisect each side of the triangle. You could bisect each angle of the triangle. Or you can rotate the triangle or the whole figure 180 degrees. So you get another triangle over here like this. And that would be right. Here's the Washington Monument. For a period during Civil War and around the Civil War, construction stopped, which resulted in a change in the color of the marble. If you're finding the mass of the monument, what would not be helpful? The volume would be good because mass is related to volume. Mass is density times volume, so volume would be good. The height of the monument would be good, so you could find the volume. The dimensions where the marble changes shades, that doesn't mean anything. That's the piece that would not be helpful. Just because they stop for a while and the marble looks different, it doesn't change the mass. The dimensions of the base, that would be useful to find the volume, so that would be good. Concrete can be purchased by the cubic foot. If you need to pour a rectangular slab for a patio, you have 10 2/3 cubic feet of concrete. What are the possible dimensions of the patio slab? Please ignore that typo. Choose all that apply. So we need to know if this has a total volume of 10 2/3, 10.6 repeating. So you're going to take, you have to convert these inches to feet, so that's 4/12 of a foot, 8/12, 6/12, and 3/12. Just use fractions of a foot. So you'd use 4/12, 8/12, 6/12, and 3/12. And then check to see if it's got the correct volume. So 8 times 4 times 4/12 is 10.6 repeating. Yes, that's 10 2/3. 4 times 4 times 8/12 that's 10.6 repeating, so that's good. 6 by 6 by 6/12, that's 18, so that's no good. 7 by 7 by 3/12, that's 12.25, so that's no good. A crater is a hole called a spherical cap that's 1/2 mile across and 385 feet deep. So if it's a 1/2 mile, that's half of 5280. Let's change that to feet. And that's all the way across. So 5280, half of that for a 1/2 mile will be 2640. And 385 feet deep. Here's the formula for volume. H is the depth and A is the radius. This is not the radius, that's the diameter. It's all the way across. We need to cut that in half. A is the radius, so A is 1320, and then H is 385. That's all the variables, so we just plug them in. Pi times H, 385, over 6. When you're working this, make sure you do parentheses first, and within the parentheses you do exponents. So 1320 squared, then you can multiply by 3. .385 squared. So inside parentheses, add those up. And we're going to multiply that by 385 and 3.14 and divide by 6. And divide by 6, we get 108,305,8,547. And that'd be cubic feet. So if it was just an approximate, we could round that to about, let's see, that's 1,000, million, 1 billion cubic feet. Or you could say 1 times 10 to the 9th. In 1991, the population of British Columbia was 4.7 times 10 to the 6th. If the land area was approximately 9.3 times 10 to the 5th, what's population density? Density is population divided by area. So the population was 4.7 times 10 to the 6th. So we move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Over 9.3 times 10 to the 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get about 5.054 people per square kilometer. So it makes sense since it's people, you can't have 0.054 people. So you just say about 5 people per square kilometer. Which transformation moves along a vector? Translation. Reflection flips over a line, rotation spins around a point, and then rigid motion is a general term for all of those things. So here's a rule. They switch x and y, x turns negative, and they add on. So the adding of a number there, that's a translation. The xy goes to y negative x. That is a rotation, specifically of 270 counterclockwise, but it's a rotation. A dilation would involve multiplication, like 3x, 3y, something like that. Reflections do seem similar to rotations, but different rules. What value of x would prove the two inner triangles are similar to each other? This is called the geometric mean, when that middle segment squared equals the two pieces multiplied together. You could make this a longer problem and go through and figure out the parts that correspond to each other and all of that, or just remember that this is the geometric mean, x squared equals 36 times 4. 36 times 4 is 144, so that means that x equals the square root, which is 12. Which trigonometric ratios are equivalent? So this comes back, we did one like this a while ago. If this is 90 degrees, this is 32, the other angle has to be 58 degrees. And we know that sine of one of these angles is going to be the same as cosine of the other. Sine of 32 equals cosine 58. That's true. Tangent 32 equals cosine 90. There's no rule that relates to tangent and cosine or tangent and sine. Sine of 58, cosine 32. That's the same thing, just switching around which one you take. Sine of 58, cosine of the other. That's true.